You know that stereotype of the strong feminist woman who's like, I don't need a man, I don't need to get married, I don't need any of that to be happy, all I need is myself. Or even sometimes it's not a stereotype, it's just a sweet, genuine girl who's like, yeah, I don't think I need a boyfriend to be happy. Now sometimes when women say this kind of thing, that they don't need a partnership, they're being truthful. Maybe they've gone through something in their personal lives, and for the time being, it's actually better for them to be alone. They're getting out of a bad relationship, they're focusing on their career, there's some unique circumstances going on that make her happier by herself, temporarily. And maybe there are some women who are so uniquely placed that they prefer to be by themselves. They don't want to have a relationship. But those women are the exceptions, not the rule. Women want to be in relationships. Even women who don't like men want to be in relationships. They just have relationships with women. Women are highly social creatures, much more so than men. For women, companionship and intimacy are extremely important. There are some women who are engaged in this very misguided attempt to live up to this feminist ideal of not needing any man. They've got their independence and they've got their autonomy and they don't need a relationship. But in doing that, in trying to pursue that as a goal, they are committing violence to their own psyche. The deep, deep truth is that despite whatever they say, women want relationships. They want to have a boyfriend. Seeing all of their friends happy in relationships, dating high quality men, that's just going to reinforce to them that they want that. That's an experience that they desire for themselves. They want to be loved. They want to be cared for. They want to be held, stroked, listened to. They want to fit in just like everybody else. Have a look at this footage that was shot by a couple of my contributors.
If all of your friends have boyfriends, do you feel a pressure to find a partner so you can fit in?
Yeah, because no one likes a third wheel. I guess you would, yeah.
Yeah, for sure, because it gets kind of lonely. Like, even if it's not a boyfriend, like, you still want to have, like, fuck buddies or, like, your hoes on the side or whatever it is.
If all of my friends had boyfriends and I didn't, I definitely would feel pressured to get a boyfriend. Because I watch them have fun and go on dates, and I'm just not doing any of that. So yeah, it makes me feel more lonely.
Yes and no. Like, it's not so much that I want to fit in, but it's that I see other people being happy with someone else, and I feel lonely, maybe.
It is an awkward thing to call somebody a liar. Socially, it is one of the most frightening things that you can do. Luckily for me, I don't have a woman right in front of me saying, I'm single and I'm happy. If I did, then socially, it would be in extremely bad taste to say what I'm thinking, which is, I don't believe you. You telling yourself that you don't need a boyfriend is a coping mechanism. It's because either your self-esteem is so low that you don't believe that you can attract a great guy into a relationship, and so to protect yourself from that knowledge, you convince yourself that you don't need one. Or there's the even sadder explanation that you have been traumatized by relationships and you're actually frightened of intimacy. You don't want to be that vulnerable ever again. Now, some people will try and argue that the pressure that women feel to be in a relationship, to have a man, to get married, all that stuff, that's just cultural conditioning. That's just a social construct. They feel as though all of those internal urges that women feel to partner up and find a man, that's just the result of cultural conditioning. That is a completely arbitrary social expectation placed on them by society. Now, maybe that's true, just a little bit. I'm not going to argue that social conditioning has no role to play here, but in no way is that the primary factor. Not at all. Your drive to find a partner is primarily biological. That is just what is innate to you. Evolution has designed you, me, and everybody else to partner up, to make babies, to pass on our genes to the next generation. In that way, humans are no different to any other species. We forget that we are just a sophisticated type of animal. Men and women are both just one half of an equation, and it is not weakness to admit that you desire a partner. The strong feminist woman who claims that she doesn't need a man is not showing courage. She's showing cowardice. She doesn't have the strength to honestly look inside herself and see what's there. She can't admit what her body craves. She lives in denial. Repressing your true desires is not a path of strength. It's a path of weakness. So is this some widespread phenomena where women are collectively saying they don't need relationships? We're all just going to be strong, feminist, independent? No, that's not what the data shows. And I'm going to show you some of the research. It's interesting that even after the enormous cultural conditioning of individualism that we have in the West, this strong frontier mentality of you can make it on your own, you can be completely autonomous, even after decades or even centuries of that kind of cultural attitudes influencing how we think about ourselves, it's not been enough to wipe out our deeply held biological instincts. This stuff is just in us far too deep, and I'm going to show you the data. But quickly, I'm going to tell you about the bonus adults-only content that I've got. And it's about a sex toy that a couple is planning on using around their friends. I talk about the traditional ways that men feel uncomfortable with a woman who has sex toys, but about how this specific device helps the man stay in control. It does all of the foreplay for him so that she is primed, wet, and ready, and the ultimate benefit goes to him. This is the kind of topic that I can't cover on YouTube, because if I talk about sex or even just use certain words, I'm going to get demonetized. But all of my explicit content is available on Patreon, just $5 a month, and you can access all of it. So in my research, I found this article called "Who Craves Relationships More, Men or Women?" The author of the article does a really good job aggregating all of the research on this topic of love and relationships and desire. We're going to go through some of the most interesting results now, but if you want to do further reading on this, I'll put a link in the description box below. Now, some people say that marriage is dead, it's an outdated institution, nobody wants to get married anymore, but it's interesting to see that the data does not reflect this attitude. In a survey of over 15,000 young people, 82% of men and 84% of women said that getting married was important to them. The data also shows that this idea we have of young people as these walking bags of hormones just ready to dump their current partner when the next shiny object comes along is completely false. From the same study of over 15,000 young people, they found that 83% of men and 88% of women are completely or very committed to their current partner. Even though they're young, they're not looking around for other options. In fact, over 50% of the people surveyed were confident that their current partner was going to be their lifelong partner. So to any women out there who have fallen victim to this feminist propaganda that says that you don't need a man to be happy, that you can be strong and independent and make it on your own, they'll try and tell you that it's wrong to want a boyfriend or to desire a partnership. You can go ahead and ignore all of that. That's just a myth pushed by miserable people who don't want to be reminded that they're miserable, and so they try and make everybody else miserable. It is not weakness to admit that you like sleep. That is biological. It's not weakness to admit that you like food and water. That's biological. It is not weakness to admit that you want a boyfriend. That is also biological. True strength and true courage comes from admitting what you are, not denying it. And you are one half of a biological equation. Remember, if you want to hear more from me, check out my bonus content, the toy that keeps him in control. I am pleased to announce that this video has been sponsored by Crypto Money Academy, the website that helps you learn everything that you need to know about cryptocurrencies. After all the demonetization issues this channel faced, I needed to learn about the world of cryptocurrency. It's even become an integral part of my business. Some people pay for their private consultations using Bitcoin, and I pay my contributors using Bitcoin when they come from countries that don't accept PayPal. I love that cryptocurrency is simple, instant, completely decentralized. I love that when criminal governments like the Maduro regime in Venezuela destroy a nation's currency, cryptocurrency gives people a real chance to protect their wealth. If you want to learn more about cryptocurrency, Crypto Money Academy has a number of courses to help you get started, such as how to get tons of valuable cryptocurrency for free without mining or paying for it, and an expert's guide to decentralized banking and off-the-grid living. Thank you to Crypto Money Academy for sponsoring this video.